With the recent arrest of former President Donald J. Trump, America has been thrust into unprecedented turmoil. April 4th, 2023 is a day that will go down in the history books. So why not make sure you remember this moment the right way with your very own Donald J. Trump 2023 arrest commemorative gold coin? This commemorative coin is plated with 18-karat gold to provide you with the opulence and grandeur that only a Trump commemorative coin could provide. Whether you hate Donald J. Trump with every fiber in your being, or you think this is the greatest miscarriage in United States history, this coin is for you. And with the price of gold shooting up due to Joe Biden's inflation, for those of you celebrating, or Vladimir Putin's inflations, for those of you commemorating this dark day, get your coin now before they're sold out.
If there's a crisis, you know there's an opportunity, and you know if that was a real product, people would actually buy it. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zucker Dowski here of wearechange.org, and we have a plethora of absolutely crazy news to get into, as of course it looks like the situation in the United States is getting worse and worse by the day, as of course street violence, crime, and the de-dollarization is continuing. All of this as we are distracted by the latest political nonsense and bullcrap that is an orchestrated escalation of the larger divide and conquer agenda. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing describing our dystopia, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is done by the extremely talented Danny Polishuk. We will be linking the link to the full video down in the description below and his YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed to him yet, what are you waiting for? He absolutely does provide really incredible work that I think is worth following and supporting. And we definitely need more comedians in this space, as the times that we're living in are very tumultuous, are very crazy. But hey, at least we get a chance to still laugh. At least laughing is not illegal yet. That's why we even made 2 shirts dedicated to this crazy moment in history. And at least we still have funny satirical videos that are allowed to be online, and the memes and real life trolling that now happens on Twitter, where the logo was just changed to the Doge dog. The New York Times lost their verification symbol, and NPR has just been labeled U.S. state-affiliated media. And it is absolutely correct, as they are absolutely more of a propaganda PR for the ruling establishment party rather than an actual, quote, news organization. This quote, news organization had a heyday yesterday with, of course, the former president of the United States being arrested, which some people are calling a distraction to some of the bigger pressing issues affecting Americans, like the Restrict Act. Many billionaires now testifying to their very cozy relationship with the Mr. Epstein. And of course, the massive de-dollarization and financial calamity coming our way, which are very pressing, very important issues that I think definitely deserve more of a conversation than the corporate media following around a jet and a car parade. This has financially, the picture here, especially in the Western world, doesn't look too good, as the poverty and destruction of the middle class is becoming more and more obvious, to the point where in Los Angeles, they resorted towards blasting, quote, classical music to drive, quote, unhoused people, homeless people, from subway stations. All of this as violent crime has been dramatically going up, with district attorneys that many times excuse it, allow it, or turn a blind eye to it. This, as just yesterday, the Cash App founder Bob Lee was mugged, stabbed, and killed while walking in San Francisco, a city which Elon Musk has been documenting and talking about the deteriorating conditions in, as he is describing how he knows many people who were, quote, severely assaulted, and how, quote, violent crime in San Francisco is horrific, and even if attackers are caught, they are, quote, released immediately. And I think it's fair to say that we could definitely expect more crime to go up in the United States, as of course poverty is also going up. And that's definitely going to be made that much worse with the larger de-dollarization that is happening all around the world. The Malaysian Prime Minister just announced that there's no reason to continue depending on the US dollar. Japan just started to buy Russian oil. This, as many OPEC and non-OPEC oil producing countries have just announced restrictions on oil production, which of course will also bring prices to go up dramatically. And India has decided to use the rupee rather than the dollar when it comes to their international trade, as more and more the U.S. financial system is dependent on woke green energy and policies that are absolutely destroying any possibility of prosperity while only enriching the select few, to the point where even Jamie Dimon, the head guy at JP Morgan, came out with a proposal talking about how governments need to seize property in order to build wind and solar farms in the world in order to meet net zero targets. And with these larger kind of totalitarian financial proposals, as the US Federal Reserve just prints money out of thin air, as the big banksters live more lavishly than ever, holy freaking cow, do I think we're headed towards some very troubling times, to say the least, especially with all the de-dollarization. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area, where you get now 3 memberships offers to sign up, all giving you exclusive perks, exclusive offers, 3 masterclasses, an exclusive members only store, and in real life meetups that will be happening in Austin, Texas next week, and following that in Miami, Florida. I will see members of Luke Uncensored there. Only members will be able to join. I think we're also probably going to be doing a group meditation session. Lots of really cool things happening. And if you want to be a part of that, plus a lot more, sign up right now to LukeUnfiltered.com, and I will see you there right after this broadcast. As of course, we're going to be doing another very important video about some very big drastic changes coming to Canada, as well as some very interesting testimony by Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan and Chase that we can't talk about here on this broadcast. Yeah, lots of crazy stuff that we're not allowed to talk about. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. You get a video almost every single day, an uncensored, unfiltered video targeted towards getting you the right amount of information in order to help you and guide you through all the chaos on LukeUnfiltered.com. We have a lot of members. We have a forum. We have a way of communicating with each other, learning from each other, all of that available to you with just one click of the button right here. Click it right now, and I will see you there right after this broadcast with a brand new video. As of course, it is important to note here that, in fact, Donald Trump yesterday, during his announcement at Mar-a-Lago, did actually address one of the bigger pressing issues that we were just talking about, and that is specifically the de-dollarization, the dollar being decoupled, with the former president of the United States warning during his speech yesterday that the U.S. currency is, quote, crashing, and, quote, will no longer be the world's standard. Now, with that come, of course, grave ramification, huge global shifts and changes. And while one political party that prosecutes their political opponents tells you the economy's fine, it's doing better than ever, the economy is booming and growing, I think it's fair to say that the opposite of that is true, as many Americans are getting a wake-up call to the reality of the situation, which is very drastic and will definitely change the way that people live in this world. And I think these comments by the former president of the United States are important, are worth paying attention to, and are worth having a bigger discussion on, as of course he's also being prosecuted in New York State to what looks like an absolutely flimsy case that absolutely has no merit in it and has even expired due to the statute of limitations. As of course, this topic mainly dominated the speech that the former president of the United States made last night to his fan base in Florida. As of course, he's indicted on 34 felony counts and is facing 136 years in prison for what people call sham charges. Now, will the former president of the United States go to jail for 136 years? Well, I think it's fair to say that in New York City, there's not a lot of people who like the former president of the United States. The judge has ties to Kamala Harris. The jury that will be selected will probably be overwhelmingly Democratic or woke. And with those kind of odds, hey, you never know, especially with the way things are going politically in the United States, that there is a chance that, yes, the former president of the United States could be jailed, could be found guilty, and could be sentenced for 136 years for an accounting error that, of course, the district attorney is counting 34 times. This was based on one specific incident that is being counted 34 times. This as the district attorney there that has been financed by a billionaire that has bought many district attorneys that push his woke doctrine, came out and said that all people need to be treated equally under the law and that, quote, we cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. As of course, the former president of the United States conducted a clerical error, an accounting error, a misdemeanor, which was brought up to a felony, counted 34 times by an attorney general that, by the way, reduced 52% of all felony charges to misdemeanors. So for him to add a misdemeanor and change it to a felony is extremely rare and the opposite of exactly what he does, as many people accuse him of being extremely soft on crime and very hard on people who defend themselves against the criminals that have been running free under his reign. This, as also according to Fox News, we're finding out today that his chief prosecutor has been bragging about giving out jail out of free cards to violent felons, to murderers, all in the name of, quote, racial equity, specifically diverting violent, crazy individuals from incarceration and to the streets of New York City, where a lot of them commit horrible crimes and they're released immediately. Now, we had some very interesting comments, even from big critics of the former president of the United States, including Justin Amash, libertarian member of Congress, who came out and said, quote, after reading the district attorney's Bragg's indictment of Trump and accompanying statements of fact, I'm stunned any prosecutor would move forward with this. It's even flimsier than we were led to believe. 34 stacked counts, bootstrapped to an unstated crime to manufacture felony charges. This, as even the president of El Salvador, that by the way is being sanctioned by the current regime right now for being tough on crime, came out and said, think what you want about former President Trump and the reasons he's being indicted, but just imagine if this happened in any other country where a government arrested the main opposition candidate. The United States' ability to use democracy as a foreign policy is gone. And it will probably be gone like the US petrodollar, as even Elon Musk came out and tweeted this image, showing a picture of Donald Trump in the 1980s with the caption, why do time travelers keep trying to kill me? I'm just a realtor. Adding a specific comment, quote, if the Democratic Party had a time machine. And let's be honest here, with the corporate media and many politicians making him the boogeyman, making him infamous, making him more powerful than ever, you kind of got to start realizing that he might be the end-all be-all for them, and that this larger insane political cycle that we're involved in might potentially never end. But who knows? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to be president of the United States in 2024? Let me know down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and sharing these videos, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. One more video coming your way right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there.